Good morning, everybody. Please let me know in the comments if you can hear me. All right. I see you, Mavi. I see you, Precious. I see you, POD. Good morning, everybody. Amazing. I see us. I want us to increase our numbers in the next 5 minutes. So if you are here, kindly click the link and share to your WhatsApp status. Let's increase the number from 6 to about 50 in the next 5 minutes. So please and please share the link to everyone you know that is going to benefit from this training this morning. Share the link as fast as you can so our numbers can increase. Let's share the link. Let the link go out very fast. Let's share the link. Okay, all right. Good morning once again, everybody. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Protocol Edge. Right? And from what I said before, if you've not shared the link, please do that now. If you have not shared the link for this live stream, please do it now, because the value that we're going to get from this live stream this morning is so enormous, and it will not make sense if over 140 people registered and we just have 5 people to get the value that we have to offer this morning. So if you have not shared the link on your WhatsApp story or anywhere, please share the link. We are about to kickstart. In fact, we have started already. All of this that I'm doing is part of what we are meant to do in this training, right? So please share the link everywhere. Share the link everywhere. I want us to have a good number. Before I begin to share my screen, before the guest comes on board, then we'll begin to dish out all the values that we have for you this morning, right? So let's increase the number. Share the link as much as possible. I see every one of you in the comments. Thank you for making comments. Just one more task I need you to do is to share this link everywhere. All right. Good morning once again, everybody. Welcome to Protocol Edge. Before we start, it is essential that we commit things into the hands of God. So I'm going to say a word of prayer briefly. Our Heavenly Father, as we start with us. Help us to learn everything we will be taught today in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So I will just do a brief introduction, right, before I go into what I have for everyone today. I'll just do a brief introduction before I go into what I have for everyone today. All right, so you have been seeing flyers, you registered, you joined the live stream, you know that something is happening on the 15th of March 2025, and that is Protocol Edge, right? That is the training powered by Upsurge Conference and Upsurge Lead. It's powered by Upsurge Conference and Upsurge Lead. So now, what is Upsurge Conference, by the way? Right? Who are this set of people that are doing this? So Upsurge Conference is a platform, right, focused on empowering protocol officers and related professionals around the world so that we can be able to foster better capabilities in protocol officers so that protocol officers can gain more knowledge, so that they can gain more understanding about their duties and about what they are doing, right? So that is what Upsurge Conference is all about. This is our focus. Our focus are protocol professionals cutting across all industries. You are in government, you are in business, you run an NGO, yeah. So we equip your protocol officers to be able to do the job that they are meant to do in your organization. And we also have another body which is called Upsurge Lead. Like I said, Upsurge Conference is focused on empowering, right? We call it a non-profit because we do not plan to make money from it. Yeah, so it's focused on empowering protocol officers. Now, Upsurge Lead, on the other hand, is an agency, is a protocol and events agency. Upsurge Lead is a protocol and events agency. It's a protocol and event agency that is focused on delivering exceptional services to our clients. Yeah, focused on delivering exceptional services to our clients through our protocol service, through our VIP management services, and also through our corporate event management. So this is who we are in Upsurge, right? I said of that to give you a foundational knowledge of the reason why you are here this morning. All those things I said was to give a foundational knowledge of the reason why you are here this morning. So it's essential that you pay rapt attention to what we are doing in this training this morning. It's essential you pay rapt attention to what we are doing in this training this morning. So this training is powered by a collaboration of these two organizations. It's powered by a collaboration from or of Upsurge Conference and Upsurge Lead. So it is in collaboration with these guys coming together to offer this for you for free with no extra cost. All of these things that we are doing to this morning is all for free with no extra cost. All right, so I want us to do something this morning. I want us to prepare our minds. I want you to get your writing materials, yeah, which is very, very, very important. Your writing materials is essential for you to get what you need to get from the training this morning. Your writing materials is super essential for you to get what you need to get from the training this morning. So get your book, get your biro, get you might want to also leave a place that is not be focused, because what we are doing this morning, our training tutor is ready. He's going to be your book if you can, and make sure that you are in a less noisy environment so that you can get the most out of the training this morning, so that you can get the most out of the training this morning. Quickly before we go, what I want us to do this morning is to our Instagram page. Is to follow our Instagram page. So please, Ade, I need you to do something. I need you to send the link of our Instagram page to the chat box so everybody can go follow and come back. Then so that such conference and send the link for Upsurge lead, so everybody that is on the live stream this morning can follow us. The reason why you are following us is so that we will not miss out on every of amazing opportunities that come from our organizations, right? Because every year we host annual conferences, and even in the middle of those projects, we also have online trainings like all of this that we are doing this morning, right? So you need to follow our page so that you can get updates on everything that we are doing. So that I can get updates on everything that we are doing. If you are following, please say I am following in the chat box. I am following. I am following. I am following. I am following. I mean, what's going to make this morning's session super interesting is if all of us can give good energies. What will make this session super interesting, right, is if our energies are high and good. All right, I see your comments. I see you, Tomiwa. I see you, Ife. I see you, Mavi. Right, so I am following. And if you've not shared the link on your story, please do share the link now. Do it now. So we are going to go straight into it. Everybody wants to learn about what is order of precedence. We just want to learn the subject matter and just what has this guy been saying and all of these things. So briefly, I'm going to share my screen so that we go straight into what we have this morning. I'm going to share my screen now. Let me do that. Let me share. All right. If you can see my screen, please let me know you can see my screen so we move solidly from there. In the chat box, let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen so we move with the speed of light because we have quite a number of things to cover this morning. All right. So amazing. So order of precedence, right? Order of precedence. So this morning we are going to run through laying a very, very solid foundation to the understanding of this subject matter. What we are doing is laying a solid foundation, most especially with my session this morning, right? Order of precedence. So prepare, get ready to glean from everything that we'll be doing this morning. So let's do a brief run through on the content that we have for this morning. So we're going to be looking at what is order of precedence. We are going to be looking at the scenarios to illustrate order of precedence. We are also going to be looking at the importance of this subject matter. We are going to be looking at the key principles in applying order of precedence. We'll also go further to look at and examine, right, the challenges that protocol officers face while engaging this principle. We are also going to look at some best practices and recommendations, right, going through your career and whatsoever it is that you plan to do. All right. So the subject matter of order of precedence, order of precedence as it is this morning, on the slides, it refers to established protocols or rules governing the order in which individuals, dignitaries, officials are seated, introduced or recognized in formal events, ceremonies, or gatherings. I mean, that might look like a lot, but the easy understanding is following due procedures to make sure that honor, respect, and dignity is given to every professional, every making sure that honor, dignity, respect is given to leaders, dignitaries in a particular gathering. So that is what order of precedence is all about. Establish protocols, establish rules. Yeah, I want you to understand something, that what we are talking about today, as where it is coming from, it has an established protocol or rule. Every principle we'll be talking about today as regards order of precedence, yeah, it is established already. One thing I'm going to make you understand and emphasize as I go on is the matter of making research, right? When you want to engage precedents in every event that I apologize for the network glitch. I hope you can hear me now. All right, please let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Network decided to do its thing. All right, as I was saying, it is established protocols or rules governing the order in which individuals, dignitaries, officials are seated, introduced, and recognized in formal events. Yeah, I mean, everybody at one point or the other in your life or in our lives generally would have gone to events where we see that, okay, why is this person sitting in this particular place and this person is sitting in in another seat or at a particular location, or the arrangement of that, or where all right. So as I was saying, apologies for the network glitch. As I was saying, order of precedence focuses on respect, dignity, and honor. right? There are moments where you go to a particular event, maybe you go to an official function, and you see there is somebody sitting on the highest ranking seat in that place, right? The reason why they are doing that is to ensure that dignity or respect is given to whom respect is due. Honor is given to whom honor is due. So that's the understanding that we should have moving forward in learning about this subject matter, order of precedence. That's the understanding that I want us to have. All right. So now let's briefly run through some scenarios to illustrate order of precedence. Let's quickly run through some scenarios to illustrate order of precedence. Number one is official processions, right? Processions basically means the order in which people go into a particular hall or a particular meeting or a particular conference. That's just the basic understanding of what procession is all about, right? You can find order of precedence in processions also, whereby the highest in rank, yeah, is to go into a room first before other people are to follow suit into that particular room or that particular hall or that particular meeting, right? Order of precedence specifies that the highest ranking official, e.g., president, leads the procession, followed by other officials in order of their rank or their seniority, right? This is one scenario where you can find the implementation of precedence. This is one scenario where you can find the implementation of this subject matter, as the case may be. All right, so you can find it in official processions. You can also find it in ceremonial events. Please, if you're following, type in the chat box, I am following. You can also find this in ceremonial events, ceremonial events like inaugurations, coronations, or anniversaries. The order of events determines the order in which dignitaries are introduced, seated, or participated in ceremonies. The slide is blurry. Okay. Let me try. I see your comment, Olaya. I'm trying to work on it. Let's move on. What I'm going to do is that actually I have a policy of not sharing my slides, but I'm going to work on something. I'm going to work out something so that everybody that joined this morning are going to get the most out of this training. All right. So another scenario to understand or illustrate order of precedence is in ceremonial events, like I was saying, in which dignitaries are introduced. Let's stay a bit there, right? In which dignitaries are introduced. Now, this is where MCs, host of events, do come in. There is an order in which you are to introduce your guests in a particular event to ensure that there is order and there is decorum in that particular room. For example, the president of Nigeria goes to a particular event, and they are also governors of the 36 states and the federal minister of FCT inclusive in that event. Now the MC goes on stage and is introducing maybe the governor of Kwara State first before introducing the president. That could cause a fight. That could cause a disruption to the event. So if you are a person that understands precedence, yeah, you will know that it is the president, the highest in rank official in that meeting, is that person that should be introduced first to ensure that there is honor to everybody seated. I mean, by default, if you know that I'm a governor, a president is seated, and they introduce the president before me, you just know that that is the way it is meant to be done, because you are not up to the level of the president. Do we understand what I'm saying this morning? Am I making sense? Please let me know in the chat box if you are following, right? So you find the illustration of order of precedence in events like this, right? Also, Order of precedence determines the order in which dignitaries are seated, right, in ceremonial events, in inaugurations. Yeah, you will check the inauguration of Donald Trump last month, or January 22nd, thereabout, right? There are ways in which the seating arrangement of that inauguration was done to ensure that precedence was followed and ensure that there is decorum in that event. Are we following this morning? Are we following this morning? So you will find precedence, order of precedence in events like that. You will find it in how they are seated, how dignitaries are seated. Also, in ceremonial events, to illustrate the subject matter of order of precedence, you would see how a brief. Sorry about that. So you'd see how in events you order of precedence is also put into place for people to participate in that event, for people to participate in the event. And when I mean participation, I mean yeah, photo opportunities. When I mean photo opportunities, I mean the order in which people are to go and line up to take pictures. Yeah, that is when people are also participating in the event. There are different avenues through which I can explain how we participate in events to illustrate order of precedence. So I'm just making you understand different scenarios through which we can illustrate order of precedence. Are we following? Are we following this morning? All right, all right, all right, all right. Perfect, 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 perfect. Now let's quickly run through some importance of um order of precedence. Let's run through some importance of order of precedence. The first is maintain protocol and etiquette. Yeah. An importance of order of precedence is that it helps maintain etiquette. It helps you maintain protocol in any event. I did mention at the beginning, which I should have mentioned, right? The basic definition of what protocol is the set of rules and guidelines that checkmates your behavior in any gathering you find yourself. There is a protocol for a wedding ceremony. There is a protocol for a business meeting. There is a protocol for an international conference. Yeah. So, and the importance of order of precedence is that it helps to maintain protocol in all of these gatherings, in all of these settings, as the case may be, peculiar to the event in which you are opportune to be in at that time, right? In which all right, like I was saying, maintain protocol and etiquette. That is the first importance of order of precedence. The second is prevent confusion and dispute. It prevents confusion and dispute. Prevents confusion and dispute. Prevents confusion and dispute. Right. So when order of precedence is followed to the latter, when it is followed to the latter, you will notice that events just go very smoothly. There is no dispute as to who is to sit here. There is no dispute as who is to come up stage first before another person. There's no dispute onto how this person or this person should participate in this activity during the event. This is one of the vital and most important, arguably most important importance of order of precedence, right? Are we following this morning? Are we following this morning? So the third I will talk about is that it shows respect and honor. I've spoken about this in passing already, right? The fourth is that it facilitates smooth event planning. Order of precedence facilitates smooth event planning. Let me add to that, also facilitates smooth event management. All right, it facilitates smooth event planning and facilitates smooth event management. Yeah. So when event planners work with protocol officers hand in hand, it ensures that events are planned properly, the way they are meant to be planned. Yeah. So when the event manager wants to arrange a particular seat in a particular area of the hall, the person arranged it in order that encourages precedence, that encourages honor. For example, the highest in rank official in that meeting is meant to sit somewhere. Then they label that chair with the name of that person. The next person, they label the chair. The next person, the chair is also labeled like that, like that, like that, ensuring order of precedence is followed. So events are run smoothly when all of these things are followed. Yeah, events are run smoothly when all of these things are followed. Another point is that it preserves tradition and heritage. I believe that you did not see this coming, right? You didn't see this coming, right? How can order of precedence preserve tradition and heritage? I'm going to talk about that in one of the key principles, but let me just chip in something very simple. You know that a typical African or a typical Nigerian person, you should give respect to your elders. Yes or yes? The answer is yes, right? So you know that, okay, maybe an elderly person wants to enter into a room. You say, okay, mommy or daddy, enter before I go in, right? You That what you just did there is following order of precedence. Yeah, basically what you did there is following order of precedence, right? You allowed this person to go in first before you go in, right? So you are preserving the tradition and heritage of your culture. You are preserving the tradition and heritage of your culture. That is one importance of following order of precedence also, right? And like I said, I'm going to this particular aspect, I'm going to expand more on it when we get to the key principles of applying order of precedence. And the last point I'm going to touch on this regard is promote national and international harmony, right? It promotes national and international harmony. When, for example, a delegation from another country is coming to your country, right, and all events are planned properly, the honor is given to this delegation that is coming from the other country. They respect them, right? They give them proper seats that they are meant to sit. They are welcome to the events the way they are meant to be welcome. Their names are called the way it is meant to be called. They participate in the event in a way that they feel honored. This will promote national and international harmony, because if they come to your host country and they feel welcome, they feel appreciated, they feel honored, they will want to invest in the potential that you have in your country, right? This is one of the aspects of soft power that protocol shows. Yeah, when things are done in the way it is meant to be done and shows respect to people that you are hosting, and they feel like they are on top of the world, they can give you anything. Yeah, they can give you anything. So this is one of the importance of order of precedence. It promotes national and international harmony. Yeah, it promotes national and international harmony. I mean, this is where it really gets super interesting. It really gets interesting now. It really gets interesting. So if you are distracted, I want you to not be distracted anymore. We are going to look at the key principles to achieve precedence. You might want to write now. You might want to bring out your pen and write. All right, so we're going to look at key principles to achieve precedence. Number one that we're going to be looking at is rank and seniority. Rank and seniority. We are looking at how we can apply this subject matter. We are looking at how we can apply this subject matter of order of precedence. So, number one is rank and seniority. Official position or title within an organization or hierarchy combined with priority based on length of service or experience. Now, how to know the person that should come first, the person that should be given the highest regard and highest importance in a particular event? Number one way to know that is by using rank and seniority. And I did not say that to say that everybody in an event is less important, but that is what it is, right? There are people that should be given more regard, more honor in a particular event. And how to achieve that is by knowing their rank and their seniority. There was a particular bill that was passed in the, I don't know if it was established or it got through the final reading in the House of Assembly. It was a particular senator, I've forgotten his name. It was in 2000, the year 2000, that this man passed it on the floor of the Senate to draft a list of order of precedence, the list national order of precedence in Nigeria, right? That document encapsulates the hierarchy of every public office holder in Nigeria, from the president to the lowest in rank in the local government. The top on the list is the president, followed by the vice president. I mean, that in order of importance, right? The president, the vice president, the Senate president, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, followed by the Chief Judge of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and all others, deputy speakers, ministers, governor, former president, former vice president, deputy governors, House of Rep, commissioners. That list encapsulates everything. After this training, I'll most likely send it to the group chat so that we can see it and understand the hierarchy of Nigerian public office holders, because you need to know this as professionals. It will help you in your line of duty, right? It will help you in your line of duty. And it is also essential that if you are connecting from outside Nigeria, if your work is outside Nigeria, you want to make research on the national order of precedence in your own country, because it's also specific to countries. These things are specific to countries. Do we understand? I was also making a research sometime in February. I also stumbled on the state order of precedence for Kwara State. I saw something, and do you know that arguably, some people might want to argue it, but the you know that local government chairmen and commissioners are almost on the same rank. You can check this out. You can check it. I'm not saying that I'm saying here is right, but this is what I saw based on research. According to what they taught us in secondary school, they taught us that commissioners are higher than local government officials and all of these things. But what I found out recently is that they're almost on the same level, and this will help your duty as protocol officers. Maybe when you are in an event, you are working on an event where you have all these people coming together. It will help you when you want to achieve order of precedence, right? Like I said, I'm going to send that document to the group chat. It's essential that you just need to look at it, and also you want to follow up on these things also. I'm also going to make further research. Those that are on the group chat, I consider you lucky persons already, because we are going to continue our communications from there. We are going to continue our communications from that group chat, right? So we are going to together make further research on if that bill has been passed on the floor of the National Assembly yet. All right, we are going to further make that research so that we can know that this is the structured rank of seniority in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because it's going to help you. And also, I saw something funny there that I saw something very, very, very funny. Now, this has to do with church protocol and all of those things. I saw something funny that whenever you are hosting an event in your church, and you want to acknowledge the presence of the officials there, you should not acknowledge the presence of the pastor before maybe a governor comes to your church, and your church is in one local government, a very small church. You should not acknowledge the presence of your pastor before the presence of the governor, because according to the National Order of Precedence, it says that that governor is higher than that pastor, according to that. But that's where flexibility and adaptability now comes in, where I'm going to talk about that as we move on. All right. So I said all that to just raise your curiosity to want to make further research on the National Order of Precedence in Nigeria. Yeah. So that's the number one point, key principle to achieve precedence. The second is length of service. Length of service, right? Time spent serving in an organization, role, or position, often measured in years, months, or days. Length of service. So if I would use the illustration of events a lot, because that is where we most likely achieve the subject matter of order of precedence. Now, if there are two ministers of the federation in your event, and you are confused as to who should you place more importance on, this is what you can do. You have to know. You have to make your research. Who has served longer? Maybe the Minister of Foreign Affairs has served for 5 years, and the Minister of Youth has served for 2 years. You know, they are both ministers under the cabinet of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So who you are going to give more importance is the person that has served longer in that office. You see the trick? Do you get the trick now? So you are going to place importance on that person that has served longer, even if they occupy same office. I mean, they would have gotten into office maybe another time. They might be thinking that what they were on the same day. I'm still coming to that. That is why I said you should leave where you get distracted, so that you can listen and grasp everything that I am telling you this morning. All right, are we following? Are we following? Please let me know in the comments if you are following. Let me know in the comments if you are following this morning. Time spent serving in an organization, role, or position, often measured in years, months, or days. So I've given you 2 tricks to be able to achieve order of precedence, because if this is not properly understood, your in discharging your duties as a protocol professionals, you are going to most likely have problems. You would have issues doing all of these things. People will see that you do not know the job. People will think that you are not giving respect to whom respect is due, and all of those things, right? Another principle that you need to take into consideration is age. Now, I think I said that in passing when I was talking about some importance of order of precedence, right? Precedence based on chronological age, often used in traditional or cultural contexts to show respect and deference to elders, right? That is one trick to ensure order of precedence. Thank you, Abebe. I see you from Ethiopia. Thank you for joining in. Right. So that's one trick to ensure that you achieve order of precedence. Age. And please note that is majorly used in cultural context. Is majorly used in cultural context, right? It's majorly used in cultural context, cultural events, right? To achieve precedence, to achieve respect for everybody that is associated in that particular event. I still have more. I have more principles here. I have more principles. Our next speaker will be coming up in about 30 minutes thereabout. So we're still going to be together for the next 30 minutes. All right. So another principle that you can use is alphabetical order. All of these things that I am saying is subject to research and subject to your own further findings. I mean, we learn every day. I learned what I am telling you about 9 months ago, thereabout 9 months. That was when I learned what I am speaking to you about today. And let me just say this in passing: whatsoever you know, even if you learned it yesterday and you are grounded in it, teach other people. You are making impact. People will respect you for it, right? Key principles to achieving precedence is alpha. Another principle is alphabetical order. You can use the surnames of guests in your particular event to ensure precedence. Maybe if there are 36 governors in a particular event, 36 governors in Nigeria, and who will come first? You don't know, because all of them are on the same rank. What you can do is to get the initials of their names or their surnames and arrange everything in an alphabetical order. So you know, if A is Adewale, Governor Adewale, you know that Governor Adewale will come first, right? You know that this will come first. This will come first. Aside the length of service, can we use level of influence? Yes. We can use level of influence based on structured hierarchy of the country, right? You cannot possibly use influence on social media or influence with the following of the person on TikTok to ensure order of precedence. No, that doesn't work, right? You have to use influence based on the structured hierarchy as it is, maybe in a bill or an act that has been passed by the National House of Assembly. Yeah, that is what you should use. That is what you should use. I'm trying to tie your question. I'm trying to rephrase your question and give you an answer to it. I hope I did that, right? So an alphabetical order, you can use alphabets to ensure order of precedence, and also host and guest relationship. Now, this is where flexibility and adaptability comes in. Yeah, this is where flexibility and adaptability comes in, right? A host and a guest relationship. I give an example of a governor coming to a local assembly, of a governor coming to a local church. If the governor peradventure has a relationship with the pastor of the church, yeah, then they can communication can help realize the whole scenario in a good manner, right? When the host, number one, and the guest have good relationship, good rapport with each other, they are able to deliberate on, okay, this is the order of precedence. This is how it's meant to be followed. How can we go about it? I mean, you are my guy, I'm your guy. All of these things are not necessary. So if there is a cordial relationship between the host and the guest, I mean, yes, there can be flexibility to these approaches. There can be flexibility to these approaches, right? Another thing that we can do is geographical location, right? Geographical location. If your location, if the location of guest A is developed, is has more resources, their gross GDP is so large, I mean, the economy of that state or that country is so big and growing large, you can use that to determine the hierarchy of in order of precedence. For example, the United Nations have a meeting today, and you do not expect that the same seat that the president of America will sit is the same seat that the president of Nigeria will sit. I'm not saying this to downgrade my country. I'm Nigerian. But that's just the way it is. I mean, there are 6 world powers. There are America, there's China, there's UK, there is Russia. So all of these people, especially those in the Security Council of the United Nations, carry more power than every other regular country, right? So when they want to give respect to these people in international gatherings, they look at all these things. They look at your country. How is your country faring economically? So they will use it to place you on where you are meant to sit, how you are meant to participate in the event, processions, photo opportunities, and all of those things. So geographical location also is one factor that we use to achieve subject matter of order of precedence. Are we getting value? Please, if you are getting value, type in the chat box, I am getting value, I am getting value, I am getting value, I am getting value. I want to encourage you to participate. Type in the chat box, I am getting value, I am getting value, I am getting value. All right, let's quickly run to the next. All right, yeah, this is equally super interesting. I mean, when I found out about this, it was mind-blowing for me, yeah, because I mean, who would ever think that this is the way it is meant to be done? Now let's look at achieving precedence in a diplomatic context, right? Let's look at achieving precedence in a diplomatic context. We know that there are ambassadors of a particular country to another country. In Nigeria, we have the United States mission in Abuja and in Lagos. The essence of these missions is to make sure that there is a cordial relationship between the United States of America and Nigeria. They are like the licensing office, the licensing entity, the middleman between Nigeria and the United States of America, right? In that context, there is a lot of diplomatic activities happening because the United States office in America have to communicate in a diplomatic way that will advance the influence and the interest of the United States in Nigeria. Do we understand what I'm saying? So they have to discuss, deliberate, negotiate, have meetings in a diplomatic way that will advance the interest of America in Nigeria, and also vice versa. The Nigerian delegation, the Nigerian mission in America does the same thing over there also, right? So there is a way to achieve precedence when it comes to diplomatic context. I mean, we have a lot of ambassadors in Nigeria. I hope you know that. We have the German mission in Nigeria. We have Netherlands, also in Lagos, I guess. We have the British High Commission in Nigeria. Now, how do we ensure that we honor these people the way they are meant to be honored, right? How do we ensure that we honor these people the way they are really, really meant to be honored, right? You see that I added something to this slide. I said dates of presentation of credentials. There is something called letter of credence. Letter of credence in international relations, in diplomatic context. There's something called letter of credence, right? So the primary factor in determining the rank of ambassadors in a particular country, right? Ambassadors is more like the highest in rank of a particular mission in a country. So the ambassador of Germany to Nigeria is the highest in rank of the German mission in Nigeria. The German mission has their staff, right? They have their protocol units, they have their operations, they have everything in their office. So the top boss in that office in the German mission in the host country is what is referred to as ambassadors, right? So the primary factor in determining the rank of ambassadors is the date they present their credentials to the host country head of state, right? To the host country head of state. Now, for example, we have different ambassadors that are coming to Nigeria, right? Maybe there's a change of government in the United States, or there's a change of government in England or United Kingdom, as the case may be, and they are sending in their new ambassadors or their new delegation to Nigeria to come and represent the interest of their people in Nigeria, right? So the ambassador that will be highest in rank or that will be given more priority is that singular ambassador that presents this letter to the president first. Let's say, for example, they land in Abuja today, and all of them are moving to Aso Rock to present this letter to the president. It is the person that first gets to the presidential villa that will be regarded as highest in rank when it comes to ambassadors in a particular country. Do we get what I'm saying? Do we understand what I'm saying? That letter of credence, it just shows that we have accepted you into our country as an ambassador from your country to our own country, right? So as that letter of credence is presented to the president, maybe the German ambassador presents his own by 12 p.m. today, the UK ambassador presents his own by 3 p.m. that same day. The person that will be highest in rank is the German ambassador. Why? Because he submitted his letter of credence. He submitted his letter of credence first before other ambassadors. Before other ambassadors did, right? So this is an established principle that is used. There are other ways to ascertain ranking and everything when it comes to diplomacy and all. Do we understand? So this is one approach that we need to understand. I mean, I believe that since I've been speaking, you would already be having a touchlight to different aspects to which you can go into when it comes to this thing called protocol, right? You can work in diplomacy, you can work in events, right? You can work with VIPs, you can work with virtually any industry, especially international organization. For international organizations that have to do with bringing in guests from different locations and all of those things, you can definitely add value based off the understanding that you are getting this morning, right? So that is an understanding of in the diplomatic context. Please understand that. This video will be uploaded on our own YouTube channel as soon as we are done, as soon in the next 24 hours. So you can go back and listen to these things so that you can have a deep and solid understanding of the subject matter of order of precedence, right? So now let's look at some challenges in achieving precedence. All right, they are enormous, but I just brought out 3 that I know that is common based on what I've seen, based on where I've worked and all of those things. So number 1 is conflict between traditional and modern protocol. This is very, very, very common. I saw a video, was it last year, of a particular politician in Nigeria fighting over a seat in a particular gathering. I honestly, I would not want to give a public comment about that, at least not yet. But that just shows that even these are public office holders, some or most of them still need to get more knowledge about the way protocol is done in the modern age. For example, in Nigeria now, we might think that is maybe the oldest person in an event that will get to sit down in the most important seat in that event, whereas following the national order of precedence that I stated, that should be followed, right? So this is one challenge, right? There is a fight, like more like a tug of war between moving from the traditional way of doing things in protocol to the modern way of doing things in protocol. So there is a fight in that regard. So that's one challenge to achieving precedence. That's one challenge. Another challenge is disputes over ranking and seating arrangement, which also is kind of tied with the first, right? Is a bit tied with the first. Yeah, conflicts between traditional and modern protocol is a bit tied with it, right? So when people are fighting, no, I'm meant to sit down there. No, you're meant to tell me to go to the back. What's wrong with you? Who are you? You this small boy. Where did you get into the industry and all of those things? So disputes begin to happen. The event begins to go upside down. You begin to create a scene and all of those things. So this is one challenge, right? Another very, very serious challenge, right, that we face in achieving precedence. Another very serious challenge that we face in achieving precedence. Another one is cultural and social implications of order of precedence. Cultural and social implications to order of precedence. It may be that the society or the culture which we have, as the case may be, do not accept all this new way of doing things. Why will you tell me that is the one to go in first? Is it because he's a public office holder? Don't you think I'm old enough to be his grandfather and all of those things? So there is cultural and social implication to other prisons. So I just mentioned the challenges that we face in achieving the subject matter of order of precedence. All right, in achieving the subject matter of order of precedence. Now, we know that there is a problem on ground already. We know that there is a problem, and this is the problem. So there are ways, there are best practices and recommendations to be able to go around all these things. Now, I compiled 3 best practices and recommendations that you can use, right, to surmount all these challenges. Number 1, I have mentioned this a lot in passing. Research. I mean, as a protocol officer, you should be a student of research. Every week should not go by without you researching about ongoing trends in the protocol industry. If you really, really want to go far, if you want to take your knowledge, take your expertise beyond the shores of your locality, you have to be someone that is in love with making research. It's going to help you. It's going to help you because there is a lot of evolution in this industry, right? Things are new, things are changing, right? If I didn't research some of the things that I shared with you about the national order of precedence in Nigeria, I won't be able to share them with you, and I will not be able to know them personally to serve my clients, right? So it's very, very, very important that you make research. Making research will also help you deliver optimally and effectively on your job, right? Where there is a situation where you are not, you don't understand how to go about these things. Maybe you had the opportunity, right, to go work in the Canadian government, maybe for a particular event. You'll be there for about 2 months, and you do not know the national order of precedence of that country. Maybe it's the prime minister or the mayor that is to come forth in a particular procession. You do not know all this thing, and you just do it because in Nigeria that's the way it is done. No, in different climes, in different countries, there is ways in order for you to achieve precedence. There are ways in order for you to achieve precedence. So you need to be a student of research. You need to constantly make research. Every now and then you are researching about new things, about how protocol is done in this country, how it is done in this place, how it is done in this organization. I posted something last year or so. I stumbled upon it on Instagram, where it was a Canadian president, the former Canadian president, because he left office for reasons I do not fully know yet. So he explained something about the Canadian protocol. When he's in a meeting, or when a Canadian person is in a meeting with somebody in another country, there is always a display of the country's flag. For example, on the right, the Nigerian president is on the right, the Canadian prime minister is on the left. Normally, according to Nigeria, right, or most countries, the flag of Nigeria will be with the president of Nigeria where he's seated, and the Canadian president will be on where he is also seated, which is on the right. But Canadian protocol says that it is inverted, right? So if the Canadian president is sitting on the right, the Nigerian flag will be with him where he's seated on the right. So the Nigerian president that is seated on the left, the Canadian flag will be with the Nigerian person that is sitting on the left. So it's inverted. And according to his explanation, he said that they do it that way in Canada to make sure that there is synergy, right? To just show that there is love, there is bond, to just bridge the gap of different cultures and different traditions, right? So that is what the former Canadian president explained to the reason why they alternate their flags based off who is to sit and who is to sit. So that it gives more connection with people in that meeting. Do we understand? Are we following? Are we following? Let me know if I'm wasting your time. If I'm not wasting your time, say you are not wasting my time, sir. You are not wasting my time, sir. You're not wasting my time, sir. Right? So that is why you need to research. People you should follow a protocol in line people that will help you learn more about protocol. I will help you learn more about protocol. Right. So the next and the last point, so I call the next speaker to come on board. I mean, he told me yesterday that he's going to be very, very practical with us. He's going to be very, very, very practical with us. Right. So flexibility and adaptability, right? You want to be flexible in your approach. You don't want to, because there are some situations whereby you have to be flexible with the other presidents in that gathering. For example, the approach I gave with the host and guest relationship, that is where flexibility and adaptability can come in, right? You have to be flexible. You don't have to be so rigid. So because if you are super rigid with these things, it can therefore lead to a dispute, right? If you are super rigid, these things can therefore lead to a dispute moving forward. If you take it way overboard, right, at the end of the day, it can lead to a dispute, and you do not want that to happen, right? So flexibility and adaptability is one thing that you cannot take away from the equation of actualizing and understanding the subject matter of order of precedence. We are going to give time for questions, Joe, and yeah, very, very shortly. We are going to give time for questions very shortly. So all of these things that I just mentioned is what you need to understand, right, when it comes to achieving order of precedence. When it comes to achieving order of precedence, you have to understand these things and understand it to the latter. You have to understand it and understand it to the latter, because when you know these things, you are more confident in your ability to do the job of protocol. You are more confident to talk about protocol. You are more confident to even impact more people on the subject matter of protocol. All right, you are more confident, right, as the case may be, right? I want to go back a few more slides to just touch a bit on the seating arrangement. Yeah? Seating arrangement must reflect order of precedence. It must reflect order of precedence based on the understanding we have, right? We are lost for time. I'm to be done like in the next 5 minutes thereabouts, or 10 minutes, so that I can open the floor for questions. Then we bring up the next tutor or speaker, as the case may be. So seating arrangement must reflect order of precedence. You now understand how you can achieve precedence, right? So you channel that understanding to how you arrange seats in a particular event. You do not want to arrange or put the seat of the highest ranking official in that event at the back, right? You do not want to put it at the back. You want to put it in a place that, number one, is safe. That is the most important thing. Number one is safe. Number two is shows honor, right? We're talking about protocol. I have not spoken about carrying guns. Protocol is not about carrying guns, right? Protocol is about knowing knowing rules and regulations that govern behaviors in a particular setting. Though protocol is largely linked with executive protection, close protection, but there is a difference. All our job is to ensure that the atmosphere for maybe any meeting, the atmosphere for movement, the atmosphere for negotiation is well primed and well conducive for these people that will be engaged in that meeting. We are most likely not seen, right? We are always behind the scene, ensuring that what happens on the scene works out very, 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 very well. So I'll give the next 10 minutes for questions. So if you have any questions, please put them on the chat box so that I can respond to them as fast as I possibly can. If you have any questions, Joanne, you can go ahead with your questions now. Or your question. So I'm waiting for you, Joe, and you can go ahead with your question. All right. I see your question. Okay. What if you already sectioned out the sitting arrangement and then someone of a high ranking comes in without prior knowledge? What do you do? It's very, very dicey. We're going to answer it shortly. Trying to fix something there. Okay. All right. So if somebody that is a high-ranking official, whatever, comes into everything that you've already primed, all things that you've already arranged, this person just comes to scatter the whole thing, what do you do? Here's what you can do. First things first, you should understand that open communication is very, very important, right? Do not hold things to yourself. When you notice that these things are happening already, ensure that you are open to communicating the reason why that thing was done with this person, and also structure your event. That is why you should be very close to event planners. You should be very close to people that are managing events for you. Yeah. So by planning events, you should create a rigid structure that ensures that, okay, people that are coming in, this is where they pass to come in, and those that will get access even into the auditorium or the hall that you'll be using, they have a pass to be able to come in, right? Proper planning is what is going to stop, is one of the reasons that will more like stop this question that you asked. So when you plan properly, right? When you plan properly with your event planners, right, planning, mapping out the arrangement, sitting arrangement, you want to ensure that there is a rigid structure to entrance and people that are allowed to come to a particular place. Yeah, people that are allowed to come to a particular place. For example, you can have a pass that says, okay, this gives access to just this kind of persons. All right. Yeah, and I said it already, you should be very, very, very open to communicating what is happening. If you are not the team lead, communicate what just happened with your team lead. Then your team lead, by every possible means, will communicate also with this highest in rank official, explaining to them the reality of things. That, all right, sir, this is what we have done based on our expertise in protocol. You trusted us to manage your protocol, so please leave us to do the job. What we have done, we ensure that everybody that comes in is accorded the honor that he or she is meant to be accorded. And what we have also done ensures the overall safety of the guests and the participants in this event. I believe I've been able to answer your question, Joanne. Please let me know in the comment section if I have been able to answer your question. Got that. That was the comment. So please let me know, Joanne, if I answered your question. Okay, what if it is in a church setting and someone like a senior pastor just this, and it's someone like a senior pastor that just decide to stop by? So for a church setting, I believe that every pastor understands structure. Yeah, if you've risen to the level of being a pastor in a church, you understand structure, that every organization, even if it is a parish, they have the way they do their things. So it is not expected of you as a respected pastor under any ministry to just come in and scatter the setting of a particular church without the proper authorization of the host pastor. Do you get what I'm saying? So if in that situation, if that happens, it is communication. Everything I've said is what you can apply to this. Everything that I've said is what you can also apply to this. Speak to the person in a way that shows respect and in the way that shows that you are passing the information to them. It could be as simple as this: oh, thank you very much, sir, for showing us that the seat could be arranged this way. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me an alternative solution to arrange the chairs and change the church setting in this way. I acknowledge your contribution, sir. However, we did this for the best of this event, right? So you are saying it in such a way that shows respect to the person, and you are also pushing his his own setting, his own whatever out the window. But you are saying it in a respectful and diplomatic way, right? That person will even say, okay, I leave it to you. Do it the way you want to do. Do you understand, Joanne? I need to bring up the next guest now. So I need everybody to wait. I'm going to be right back. I'm just praying. It's less than 19. It was light. I charged it. It's food. What can you check the laptop? Because I don't know what to teach laptop goes up. I honestly don't know anything. So we are currently waiting for the next speaker to come on board. Currently waiting for the next speaker to come on board. But before he joins us, okay, I'm trying to get what he's saying. So before he joins us, let me quickly conclude as fast as possible. So in conclusion of everything that I have been saying, protocol is the unseen that makes the sane work. You can make a screenshot of this and write it now, right? Go to your WhatsApp status, write it. Protocol is the unseen that makes the sane a success. The unseen activities. Protocol is what you don't see, right? That makes the actual work, the actual activity to be a success. So you might want to screenshot, write this down, make sure that you post it on your WhatsApp status and write protocol edge training. Just write it so that we can have more traction and other people can see the good thing that we are doing here this morning or this afternoon. We're already in the afternoon. Wow. So I'm waiting for the speaker to join us. Before it comes up, you want to tell me in the chat box how was the session? How was the session? Did you get value? Did you get value for your time? How was this session? How was this session? How was the session? Okay, so we have our facilitator here with us, but I'm going to bring him up very, very shortly. Let me just do a brief introduction of him. All right, but let me just bring him up before introducing. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me? Good morning, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you. You're on stage now. I guess network. In the comment section, please let me know if you can hear me, so I know that I know what exactly I'm dealing with as regards network issue. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. I guess it's his network.
All right. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you
Hello.
perfectly.
Can
We
you
can
hear
also
me?
hear you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Good morning.
Okay. All right. So briefly, I will just introduce you to,
All right.
to the audience we have this morning. We have been waiting for you. I've told them brief things about you and how excited you are to join us this morning. Right. I've known Mr. Feisola for quite some time now. I connected with him on LinkedIn, and this is another pointer. If you don't have a LinkedIn account as a protocol professional, you're wrong. Go and open a LinkedIn account. Probably we'll create a session on that, on how you can navigate LinkedIn as a protocol professional. So I met him on LinkedIn, and since then he has been my mentor in this line, and I have learned so much from him. He has been doing this for over a decade. He has been doing this for over a decade, and he has made impact in Nigeria. He started from Nigeria. Nigeria was just so small for the amount of impact he has. Then moved to the United States of America. Right now, he's connecting with us from Washington D.C., the capital of America. That's where he's connecting with us from. He has worked with a lot of international organizations in protocol, with some persons in the White House, and a lot of people. So, it's a privilege to have you here, Mr. Feisola Adetunji. Upsurge appreciates your presence this morning, and we cannot wait to learn from you. You have the floor, sir. You can go on.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. I think I want to say good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, regardless of wherever you are joining from. My name is Feyishola Adetunji, just like he has rightly introduced me, and I'm so excited to be on this training today. I've overheard a lot, as regards this training, and I met Daniel, through LinkedIn, like he rightly said, and I felt he has this, urge to create access for protocol professionals, to learn and also be better in their various fields, which I so much commend him for, and I want to commend him also for organizing this conference. I think this is great, and I think it's an opportunity for protocol professionals to come together and learn. For creating this fantastic opportunity, I just want to, appreciate him for such gesture. So, to everyone on this platform today, we will be talking about order of precedence. I know you must have done a lot in that regard before my coming in, but I'm going to be very much practical about the approach that I'm going to use, and I want us to have at the back of our mind that this is an opportunity for us to also be part of this conversation, and also to also express whatever challenges that we have in our various areas in terms of order of precedence. If you are looking for solutions, or you have a lot of questions, please make use of the chat box as I make this presentation. It's just going to be like a conversation, discussion, and all that. We're going to do this all together because I want us to interact with one another, and I want us to also collaborate on this topic. There's a lot to be learned, and I feel it's an opportunity for us to come together. So it's good having me here. Appreciate everyone. All right. So having said that, like I said, please make use of your chat box very well. I will be sending him some questions as well for you to also respond to. And at the same time, if you have questions for me, please do well to drop it in the chat box. I will respond. Okay, so today we have this topic, order of precedence. I'm just going to start by sharing a little story of mine, how I took this very serious. When I started protocol, I was, very much involved in organizing events, and I love doing that a lot. So it took me a while, before I realized such importance of order of precedence, despite the fact that I was practicing protocol, I was, very much involved, but I never knew until an event happened. And I'm going to explain that. So on this project, I happened to coordinate, the event, especially the protocol aspect. We were able to work with the National Assembly in Nigeria. At the same time, we also connected with stakeholders, outside the country. So I facilitated, in bringing in what do you call it? The speaker for the event, who happened to be, outside the country at that moment. So I facilitated, the event space where we used, because we invited dignitaries from all parts of the world. So it was an international event, the national conference to be precise. So we had everything set up, right? And we have put everything together. I've invested time, energy, and resources to make sure that was a success. I brought in a lot of people in terms of team coordination and all that. So we had a fantastic event coming up, and we were ready for it. So, but unfortunately, just a day to our event, there's this change. A change happened, and what was that? Our master of ceremony, who was supposed to anchor the event, had a family emergency, so he couldn't make it to the event. What did we do? We had to substitute. So we were so adaptable to that, and then we quickly substituted, him for somebody else. And bringing in someone else, we quickly tried as much as possible to rehearse with him. So telling him, what to do, what to say, and then the high-ranking officials that were going to be there, the low-ranking officials that were going to be there, we had that conversation before, the event itself. So, but on the day of the event, it was something else, because just as he was introducing, he made a mistake of calling on a lower ranking officer before the high ranking officer, and that caused a lot of chaos. I could tell you that, and I saw the high ranking officer and his team staged a walkout of the event, basically because they were not respected, basically because they were not acknowledged, basically because that event was so was so important to them that this had to be very much looked into. So we took a lot of effort, support, spoke with a lot of people to actually bring that situation under control. And since then, have been very much conscious about order of precedence in terms of communications, in terms of sitting arrangements, and I think in terms of cultural inclination as well, because I want to tell you that these are critical areas where you have to be very much sensitive as protocol officer. You have to be more focused on those areas, sitting arrangement, like I said, and then you have to be very much conscious of the communication, the introductory models that you're using, and you should be able to also research, before you commence your event. Especially, you need to understand, cultural inclination of people. You have to make sure that those that are coming, you extensively consulted with people, or consult with people rather, to get them on board. So I will just quickly, I know Daniel must have explained to you a lot about what order of precedence is all about. But basically, it's all about decorum, to simplify it. It's all about decorum, having decorum in a place, being so respectful to your guests, and then, putting the right people in the right order, which means we're talking about hierarchy here. Hierarchy, is very important. People take it so serious, at this part of the world, and generally, everywhere. So when you coordinating an event, when you putting everything in place, you have to think first, the hierarchical nature of your event and those you have invited. These are very important, and you have to take it very serious. So moving forward, in my own way, I've defined order of precedence, as a hierarchy of importance or rank among individuals, often used to determine seating, speaking order, and ceremonial rules. So I just gave you a brief story of what happened. That misunderstanding came in as a result of speaking order. The master of ceremony made that mistake, and that cost us a lot. Though it was addressed, and we had a fantastic event, but that gave me, an head in the area of getting things done appropriately. So regardless of whatever situation that you find yourself, because you're expected to demonstrate expertise in whatever you do, you're expected to bring about professionalism, and the only way you could do that is to be more committed to the task in your end and to research extensively. So why does it matter to be so much interested in having order of precedence in place when you are organizing your event? So one, it reflects respect for authority, authority of those that you've invited. At the same time, it avoids diplomatic foul pass. Like I said, you can just be linking this up to the story I gave you at the beginning. So, and then it enhances professionalism as well. I just mentioned that as well. So these are critical areas I feel will have to also be sensitive about and focus more as protocol professional. So I'm just going to be talking about some practical applications that might be useful to you. Please do well to send in questions as I'm talking. I can also deal with that so simultaneously. And then practical applications. Okay, now let's take sitting arrangement, for example. So sitting arrangement, it's expected that you give me a moment, focus more, on the guests that you have invited, and also on the cultural understanding, around the place you are in doing this. Most importantly, because it takes a lot of effort to really get result in this area, because you have to compare and contrast. And if you're a protocol professional, I want to tell you this: research is part of your work, and research is has to be very extensive. Like I said, you have to research, you have to do a lot of work, you have to compare, and then organizing sitting for high-level events requires balancing diplomatic protocol, cultural considerations, and practical logistics. So incorrect arrangement, can cause diplomatic incidents or offend important dignitaries. So potentially undermining the event objectives. You should know that. So a protocol officer must consider not only rank, but also bilateral relationship, current diplomatic climate, and cultural expectations. So this can also be taken down to your various level in terms of your office arrangement, in terms of probably your religious belief or your religious event, your office event, depending on where you want to use that. So these are critical issues that we should also take cognizance of when we are implementing order of precedence. So I will also I'm not seeing any questions yet. I don't think if I'm not seeing any questions yet, so I'm still just going to go ahead to explain to you more. Some questions that I've gotten over time, while presenting issues on order of precedence, I see people asking, how do you determine hierarchy? I mean, that I feel is critical, and people really want to know, how do you determine hierarchy and order of precedence? So, one, I'm going to take you through this in just a moment. So, establishing the correct ranking order is a fundamental aspect of protocol management, like I said. So, particularly when you're talking about, formal ceremonies, when you're talking about processionals, and when you're talking about state banquets, as a protocol professional, you must navigate complex hierarchy, and the hierarchical system as well that can vary between countries and organizational contexts. So what I mean by that is, when you are in Nigeria, what you see in Nigeria, the way you do your order of precedence will definitely be different from someone in Ethiopia, will definitely be different from someone in South Africa, will definitely be different from someone in the United States of America. So you have to take cognizance of this. And I can tell you something that happened to us sometimes when I coordinated an event also in the national conference in southern part of Africa. On our arrival, we met with the minister in that sector, and he told us one thing when we arrived. He said, we saw a lot of animals, walking around in our hotel environments. They were jumping here and there, and we were like bothered. We were like, oh, animals everywhere. Are we safe? Because where we came from, we really did not have them. We only have animals in the zoo. So when we saw animals everywhere, we were like concerned. And I tell you what, the minister said something. He said, those animals are as important as you are. We know you are a guest, but these animals that you've seen around are also as important as you are. You can imagine that. So he was telling us, okay, respect the animals too, just as the way we've respected you, also respect those animals that you're seeing around. Now, that tells you what? Differences in cultural beliefs and understanding. So in everything that you do, this is very critical. You have to put that in place in the first instance. So when you talk about the international ranking system, going back to the hierarchy and order of precedence that I mentioned earlier on, so you see different nations follow distinct precedents, and traditions. So while some prioritize elected officials, during events, others give precedence to aristocracy or religious figures. So like in Nigeria, like in Africa, we so much cherish our religious leaders. So when you are organizing events in that regard, so definitely there will be, some considerations for them while making the hierarchical order. And the most important thing is this: when you want to start a project that is related to this, you need to have a chart. You need to have a chart. You need to understand the system that is in place. And another thing is you have to come down to understanding that you have to work with people. You need to have a team, and then you need to collaborate. I've mentioned a lot, work with people as expected. Then you have to collaborate with relevant, agencies, and then community members, people that are going to give you stakeholders. Let me say it that way. So you need to collaborate and connect with stakeholders that are also going to be part of that event. So you don't do it in isolation. You have to reach out to people extensively. So, and because definitely there are differences, and you have to bridge the gap. And that's your responsibility as a protocol officer. So you have to be committed to the task, and you have to give it all that you can just to be successful. So internationally, there are differences in at the level of nations, with different beliefs, and then understanding these differences is crucial, for our events. Then organizational hierarchies. Now let's talk about that. So corporate and government bodies maintain their own internal rankings. Integrating this with diplomatic protocol, requires careful consideration of both formal positions and practical authority. So what is this telling us? Basically, when you have two chief executives, sometimes even the name in terms of the hierarchy of organizational leaders differs or different from one another. So you have some organizations that calls their leaders, they might say chief executive officer. Another one might say registrar chief executive. Another one might say Secretary General. So you have a lot like in that perspective. But the most important thing is when you have an agency of the same status with yours, so you should be very much conscious about the sitting arrangement when you're having a meeting in your office or in your institution. And it could also be religious meetings as well. So you have to take cognizance of the level of the highest ranking officers, because the questions I'm expecting from you is, okay, imagine if you have the same highest ranking officers, you have two same highest, what do you do in that regard? Can I ask you that question? Maybe I should ask you. So imagine if you have two highest ranking officers of the same, authority. What do you do in that regard? So I think I want comment, and I want people to send in comments. What do you do if you have two highest ranking officers of the same status? What do you do in that regard? We'll come back to that. Okay. So also conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is very much important also while also implementing order of precedence in some cases, because you discover that you would need to do a lot to ensure that people understand that this is something very important and that you take them serious, and then you are focusing more on their you are resonating well with their status, and you also want them to be respected. And this is very important as a protocol officer. So you have to focus more on that. So also want to say something about the communication that I mentioned about initially. So, formal communication is a practical component of diplomatic protocol. Using incorrect titles or forms of address can be perceived as disrespectful, and it could also damage relationships. So, protocol professionals must ensure all written and verbal communications adhere to the established standards. This is very important, and we have to take it serious as protocol officials. So one thing is this: I'm not going to run us through some dignitary type that you might want to resonate with. And then if you have anything special apart from this, drop it in the chat box, then we could talk about that. So when you're talking about ambassadors, I know this might not be, I feel we are talking to protocol professionals across the board. But if this does not resonate with you, don't worry about it. Just take it in, and then one day you're going to be part of this, definitely. So, as ambassadors, right? Now, form of address. What is the form of address for an ambassador? If it's a male ambassador, we say His Excellency. If it's a female ambassador, we say Excellency. So, and then verbal form of address. Most of the time, it's always Your Excellency. And then I hope that is well taken. And also, government ministers, they always call the honorable. So Minister Daniel, something like that. So you just have to put the word before the name, which is very much important. And when you're talking about royalty, you're talking about our chiefs, you're talking about our kings, our rulers, His or our Royal Highness. That is form an acceptable form of address. And if it is written, and if you are writing, it's always like His or our Royal Highness. And also, if it's a form of address which is verbal, you're saying it, you say Your Royal Highness. Don't forget that. So religious leaders, varies, based on context. It depends if it's you're talking about a particular religion. So that you could adopt a means of doing that on your own. So you have to be adaptable in making sure that you put that in place, because we have different kind of status. When you talk about religious or religious leaders, they have different kind of names and then titles. You have archbishop, you have bishops, you have pastors, you have general overseer and stuff like that. So you have to be adaptable in that regard, and also customize it to suit the event that you had. So when you talk about military leaders, full rank name, you shouldn't forget that. Full rank name. When you're talking to a military leader, it has to be full rank name. General Daniel. Admiral Daniel. You put the full rank name. You don't say, oh, when somebody's not a lieutenant general, you're saying lieutenant general. When somebody's not, doesn't have such kind of rank and you mentioning it, it's going to cause a lot of problems along the line. So you have to be very much conscious of that too as well. So introducing VIPs and managing official announcements. This is also very important. The formal introduction of dignitaries and VIPs requires precision and adherence to protocol. You just have to adhere to protocol, even while doing introduction. And that's why I said at the beginning of this presentation about what happened or what I experienced also. Even having been in protocol for a long time, I still had to learn along the way. So introductions have not only to acknowledge presence, but also to publicly affirm status and position within the diplomatic hierarchy. So each introduction must reflect dignitaries' official titles, relevant achievements, and proper order based on precedence rules. There are rules. And then individuals in terms of countries and organizations, we have what is called order of precedence. And I want to tell you what, even if you don't have it, use the opportunity of this training right now to also customize something for your organization. You may not have what is called order of precedence. You might be thinking and trying to figure it out, but I'm going to tell you how. And I'm going to also expose you on how to use the modern tools in generating order of precedence for events, if you need to know. So this will happen before the end of this presentation. I'm going to tell you how to use modern tools, especially artificial intelligence, in doing this. During our home time, we're always grabbing books, reading books, putting stuff together, and I think now it's simplified. And because of the adaptability that is available for everyone, now it's easier for one to also adapt into modern trend so that we can also give a facelift to our event and how we do it. So for you that might have questions at the back of your mind as to, how do I customize this for my organization? How do I customize this for my church? I'm going to give you some hints, some tips that will be very much relevant to you as we going on in this training. So protocol officer must prepare comprehensive speaker introduction that balance brevity with appropriate recognition. These introductions establish the tone for subsequent interactions and demonstrate the host's respect for proper diplomatic etiquette. It's all about respect, like I said, it's all about decorum. When when you see people in a particular setting, they want to be respected. So, and when they did not get the respect, it makes things look hard. It makes things look, bad. It makes it look as if you've invited them just to be ridiculed. You've invited them, just to be disrespected. And that is what we wouldn't want, to happen in this case. So managing special cases in order of precedence, when dignitaries of identical rank in a space, when dignitaries of identical rank are in a place, like I told you, I asked for that the other time, that will anybody be able to sort us out? I know asking that questions, if you have the same people of the same rank, what do you do? So now, what do you consider? I tell you what, these are the key factors to consider. One, length of service. How many years has General Daniel been in service? How many years has General Feyishola has been in service? Those are very much important. You have to use that in organizing everything that you're doing, especially when it comes to order of precedence. So, and also alphabetical order of countries also matters, and alphabetical orders of people also matters as well. So, and then our host guest courtesy principles to establish a neutral hierarchy. So that helps you to establish a neutral hierarchy where you can always, have a kind of peaceful, everybody in the same page, and a fantastic event. One more time, I'm going to tell you again that you have to consider length of service, alphabetical order, those are very critical issues that you consider, even when you have someone with similar status, or when you have guests with similar status. I hope I am communicating. If you are communicating, I want to say you say something in the chat box, please. Uh, what's trying to see? I'm not able to say this. Hello, are we on track? I can't even. All right. So, I mentioned to us the other time, I talked about you being a faculty. When I say you being a faculty, that means you have to extensively research. And this is very critical. Take it from me. You have to research. You can't just be a protocol officer who does not really say things or extensively research and also connect with people to also get your events done. You need to connect with people. And then begin by researching the specific protocol traditions, relevant to your event participants. So consult diplomatic database, says, previous you have to conduct. Yeah, I mean, good to see you, Mr. Baby. So you have to begin by researching the specific protocol traditions, like I said, relevant to your event participants. Consult diplomatic databases, previous event records, and country-specific protocol guides. So these are very critical. We have order of precedence for Nigeria, and I'm going to share the link. You can also take a look at it in Nigerian context. How does order of precedence take a preeminence in our event? Also, in different countries as well, across the world. And America, we do have here as well. Nigeria, South Africa, all countries of the world, different kind of order of precedence, and you have to take cognizance of that depending on the area at which you are organizing the event. So planning and implementation. Excuse me. So develop detailed protocol planning, including sitting charts. Like I said, you need to have a chart. That's what you start with. Introduction scripts. You have to, be more creative to come up with introduction scripts. So you must write all of this before time, so that you've done your rehearsals, you've practiced with those you're supposed to practice with, you've given it to the appropriate people that needs to be part of that event, and also communication templates. You have to develop one. You have to develop communication templates that you need to use. So you have to create visual guides as well, and briefing documents for all and everybody involved in your event, for a proper execution. So this is very, very important. So I want to believe I've been able to mention practical application strategies that you all will need in implementing this. And also when it comes to execution, I mean, you should also make sure that everything that you have done, everything that you have planned for, something that you can always implement. You just have to be realistic to yourself in planning. So make sure that everything that you have planned out or you have worked with are things that will be implemented at the end of the day. Then at the end of the day, you can always review and enhance yourself, in terms of professionalism. So after each event, you have to document successfully protocol strategies that you have used and challenging situations, so that will help you in making another event, and that will help you not to fall into the same situations you were in your previous. So you always have like moving from one level to another, growing up your skills, advancing your skills, and you are more effective in delivering some of these skills that you have. So which is very much important. So this will help your outcomes, and then it's going to help your outcomes, of every practical applications that you might want to do. as a protocol professional in the area of order of precedence. So I want to believe you have been able to have a background knowledge on order of precedence, and this will be very much useful to you in your day-to-day activity as protocol official, especially when you have events. I don't know if you have the time. I can delve in a little bit into um, Nigerian order of precedence, but if you don't have the time, I might call it a quit. But Daniel, do we have some time more so that I can quickly review that?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. We have some time. And someone asked a question that why don't we have structured order of precedence in some countries, especially Africa? So I mean, Nigeria is part of
We
Africa,
do
so
have it. No,
so you could.
yes. So we do have it. And that's what I'm saying, that you just have to ask questions and you have to do your research. So, for example, in Nigeria, president takes, the highest order of precedence is the number one. Everywhere you have the Mr. President is the number one in the country. So followed by the vice president, and at the same time you have the Senate president, and also number 4 is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So number 5 is Chief Justice of the Federation. So, and if you want to move forward from there, we talk about the former president comes on board. Then followed by state governors. At the same time, you have ministers and ambassadors. They happens to be on number 8. Also number 9, that is when you talk about traditional rulers, the emirs and the obas. So number 10, you talk about senior civil servants and military officers. So at least we'll just be talking about those 10s right now. So I think you could say that I'm going to share something in the chat box right now, so you can also take a look at this. Nigeria order of precedence. Let me copy and paste. You can take a look. Yeah, take a look at that. I just share something that we could take a look at, and then this will also help us to. That is basically on Nigeria. If you talk about Nigeria order of precedence. So, and also, I'm just giving you this as also like an handout. If you want to read this as well, there's something that a colleague of mine did in this area. Her name is Marius Lachemele. She wrote a book called Precedence with a Purpose. That book is also very relevant. You can also use it internationally and also locally. So I'm going to share that resource with us now as well. And this will go a long way in helping you to learn across the board. So also, okay, give me a moment. So in Africa, generally, it's different from one country to another. So all you have to do is to research on the country at which you are working with at that moment. So whatever countries that you are working with or that you need to know, you have to research about them and get to know it. I know Nigeria has one, and that is the one I just mentioned and I read about and then I spoke to right now. So basically, you might have questions as to traditional rulers, because I witnessed one sometimes that happened when I want to speak about Nigeria now. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo was accusing some traditional rulers in Oyo State for not standing up while he was making his address. I mean, I was telling some people in terms of protocol, he was right. He was a former president. And if you look at what I just mentioned to you, he stands at number 6 on the whole, order of precedence of Nigeria. Former presidents, they are in number 6. So, and then you have traditional rulers on number 9. So, and then if you feel okay being a former president or he doesn't have any status any longer, but it's still very much relevant. So if you want to call or you invite a traditional ruler before the former president, that is going to cause a lot of problems because you are bringing down the status and then you are not following the rules, in accordance with order of precedence. So you have to take this into cognizance, and like I've advised earlier on, customize, be more creative, customize this in your various environments, in your various settings that you have. You can also customize. For your office, you can customize. And I can tell you for a fact that even when I started my protocol journey, my office does not really have a structure. I did that structure. I put everything in place just to make sure that, we follow due diligence, in delivering our services as protocol officer. So I did that, and that is, thriving up to tomorrow because I tried as much as possible to be creative in getting things done. So you have to bring creativity in all that you do as a protocol officer. Is very much important. So customize to suit your church event, your official event, your organization event, depending on the hierarchy of people that you have. You can customize that, and that could be something that you use from time to time, and then make it here. You can create a database for that, and that's going to be very much helpful. So I really want to bring everything down at this moment. Unless if you have questions, please go ahead and ask, and I will be able to answer you. So thank you for having me. And then before I finally leave, I've said all of this. I'm going to just repeat it. The key takeaways from this is like, you have to master the order of precedence to excel in protocol rules. I mentioned that, practice sitting arrangement in various scenarios, adapt to cultural and hierarchical nuances is very much important. These are very critical things that you have to do as a protocol professional. So finally, I'm going to say that protocol is the heart of making everyone feel important while maintaining order. So we just have to continue to learn and grow. It's very much important. So I know from today's session, you have one or two things to implement. So do me a favor by sending in the chat box what one thing that you will implement from today's session. So just do me a favor, put it in the chat box, one thing that you will implement from today's session. I want to thank you for having me on this today. I want to thank Daniel and the organizer of Upsurge conference. This has been very interactive and it's been very engaging. And I think I want to say thank you one more time. Yes, I just rounded up. Hello?
Hello, sir. I'm with you, sir.
All right. So I just rounded up. So I hope you heard me, and I hope everyone also has been able to take one or two things away. I just mentioned now that if there's anything that sounds like something that you feel you implement from today's session, I asked them to drop it at the chat box in the chat box so that we can see that and also respond. And if you have questions, please feel free to ask. And also, if you also feel that you want to reach out to me as well, you can always get to know. My name is Feshola Adetunji. You could Google it up. You have all my contacts online. You can always reach out to me on any of my platforms and all that. So I have a personal website. I'm just going to give it up right now. So you can also reach out and all that if you want to. So thank you for this.
Right. Thank you.
Program.
Thank you. From beginning to end was immense
I just want
value.
To Daniel, yes, before I leave, I just want to appreciate you one more time for organizing this, and I wish more people could also emulate, such grace you give it to people as well, to also learn and connect with people that are, already experienced on the job. It's an opportunity for people to also learn and also, gather experience here and there. So thank you one more time, and I wish you well in your future endeavors as well.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'm very, very grateful. The team is grateful. I mean, everybody on this call today is grateful. I mean, it's unfortunate. I just found out that on this platform that we're streaming from, you cannot get to see the chat box except you probably log on to YouTube, right? On an external device to see, but on so all the comments that people have been saying about your session, I mean, it's just on the general chat box. I'm going to send the maybe if you want to see it, I'll send the link to the YouTube live to you so you can check if at your convenience to just to check out the good comments that people have been saying about you so far since you started this session. So I'll just send it briefly. I'll just send it briefly now, so you can just join in from there and see the comments. Right, I just sent it to you on WhatsApp so you can kindly check it. So thank you very much, sir. I mean, to the even the link that you sent for us to check out other presidents in Nigeria. I mean, you went ahead of me already. I was even saying that I'm going to send it to our group chat because I found something from a particular senator in the year 2000 about establishing the order of presidents in Nigeria. Nonetheless, I'm still going to share with them. Thank you very much for everything. All your insights and all was super powerful. I mean, you've left us with the confidence to be able to enter the deep waters of protocol. You've left us with the confidence to be able to enter into the deep waters of protocol. Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Feishola Adetunji. We sincerely appreciate you. I mean, if we are when I will not say if when we are boxed up financially, I mean we're going to fly you down to Nigeria for some of our physical programs. We will fly you down, all sorted out, flight ticket, accommodation, logistics, all sorted out by the grace of God. Once again, I want to say thank you to you. Uh so yeah, we're almost done with this session. If you Are you fine if I remove you from the stage, sir? So we can just move on from there. You can just unmute and let me know if you're fine. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I mean, everybody, how was the session? Don't worry, we're still going to head back to the group chat to have a proper conversation about how this session was. We're still going to have a proper conversation. So I want to thank everybody that joined in for this session this morning. Whenever we attend events, whenever we attend webinars, online training, physical training, one of the mistakes that people make most of the time is just leave everything that they've learned in their notepad and not bring it to the reality of themselves. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. And I don't want that to be your own portion also. So what you are going to do, right, we are going to continue working together, especially for those on the group chat. We are going to look for ways. We are going to look for ways to be able to implement everything that we have learned. I'll go back with the team. We're going to structure everything, a feedback form. Okay, this is what I did today, right? Using the knowledge I got from this training, right? This is the challenge I face. Send it to the group chat. I mean, the group chat is always open for questions. We answer your questions, right? We also give you recommendation and best practices on how you can act better in this line of profession as protocol professionals. For everyone that joined from Nigeria, different states in Nigeria, we are streaming live from Lagos, Nigeria. So everyone that joined from Kwara State, to everyone that joined from Ogun State, to everyone that joined from Ethiopia, to everyone that joined from America, to every part of the world, to everyone that joined, we are saying a big thank you to you. I mean, This training will not be a success if you didn't join. It won't make sense if I just talk to myself. It will not make sense. But you decided to take out 3 hours. I mean, we've spent 2 hours, 16 minutes on this live. Some people have been here from beginning to the end. They didn't leave. I want to appreciate you for taking out your time to do this with us. Thank you very much. Right. So if you have not followed us on social media, please kindly do so. And like I emphasized before we started, we are going to be dropping content that will enable your ability in protocol and will help you learn more and give you the confidence to act in protocol. Because honestly, in this part of the world, most especially in Nigeria, the evolution of protocol has been swept under the carpet, right? People have not been accommodating the essence of protocol. So in order for you to navigate those deep waters, what you need to do is to be confident in your ability about protocol. And how can you be confident in your ability is for you to learn. And when you learn, you practice. When people see that you know what you are doing, they want to accommodate your ideas. Wow, this is protocol, so interesting, so helpful. They want to accommodate you, bring you on board their team, right? So as you've learned, you want to put this into practice. And how can you put it into practice? Volunteer. I say this a lot. Volunteer. You don't have to go to places where you will get paid. You can practice this in church. You can practice this in events that you have opportunities to go to or volunteer for. You notice that there is a program in your locality. There is an event. Go meet the organizer. Say, I want to offer my protocol skills all for free. You're not collecting anything, right? Everything you've learned here today on order of precedence, begin to implement it and let them know what you've done. Yeah, you see that at the end of the day, you begin to grow, you begin to take appointments in offices of the president, office of the governor, office of the general secretary general of the United Nations, and all of those things. So you want to keep on learning and learning and learning. Thank you very much for joining this live session. We are going to continue our communication on the group chat for those that are on the group chat. All right. We started with prayer. We are going to end with prayer also. So, Heavenly Father, we say thank you. Thank you for this session. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for insights that we've gotten. We pray that you help us put in practice in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. This is me signing out. So we can go to the group chat. What I want us to do now, for those on the group chat, go to the group chat and give a detailed review of how the experience of today was. Give a detailed review of how the experience of today was. And if you are not on the group chat, so I'm going to type my number now, so you can send me a message, my WhatsApp number. Let's connect. Let's connect. Let's learn more. Let's connect ourselves with more opportunities in protocol and build. So let me just put my number on the chat box. 0. So you can send me a text, tell me your name and that you joined in for this session today. And let's give, because what will help us is testimonies inspire the vibe of other people. When people on the group chat see that you really learned this much, you typed, you learned this much, wow, they will be inspired to want to go and watch the replay of this video, right? So go to the group chat and give a detailed review of how today's session was or is, right? So thank you very much for everybody that joined. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.